The Western frontier embodied wildness, fraught with peril and an unsettling aura. In this compilation, we will assess the most interesting or otherwise creepy, unsolved mysteries from the Wild West. Our list encompasses the Servant Girl Annihilator, the Bodie Curse, the baffling survival of Butch Cassidy, and more. Welcome to American Old West Facts. We'll evaluate captivating or otherwise creepy unsolved mysteries from the Wild West. Have we inadvertently omitted any? Be sure to let us know in the comments what mystery from the Old West haunts you. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. The Servant Girl Annihilator. The surge of serial killers predominantly emerged during the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, casting a shadow over California. However, the reign of serial murder predates this era. London's East End was tormented by the infamous Jack the Ripper in the 1880s. The American Old West also harbored its share of serial killers. In the years 1885 and 1886, Austin, Texas was gripped by terror as a relentless serial killer operated without capture. Over these 2 years, 8 young women suffered brutal fates, plunging the city into fear. Among the victims, 6 were of African American descent, most of whom worked as servant girls for affluent families. The press coined a chilling moniker for the murderer, the Servant Girl Annihilator. The spree of violence initiated with assaults on 3 women in July, August, and November 1885, all of whom managed to survive. The turning point came in December when Molly Smith was gruesomely murdered. Subsequent attacks claimed more lives, each more brutal than the last. Eliza Shelley's body was found, while others succumbed to knives, rocks, and even an iron weapon. The escalating brutality attracted significant media attention. A journalist from the local newspaper, the Austin American-Statesman, expressed deep dismay at the repetitive horror of these merciless crimes. Amid the chaos, additional women met their tragic ends in various corners of the town, intensifying public outrage. The murder of Mary Ramey sparked widespread outcry. As 1885 drew to a close, the killer expanded their targets beyond domestic servants. Christmas Eve brought the deaths of 2 more women, Sue Hancock and Eula Phillips. A breakthrough emerged in February 1886 when Austin police fatally shot Nathan Elgin, responding to an ongoing assault. While Elgin was never definitively tied to the Servant Girl Annihilator's crimes, the attacks abruptly ceased after his demise. Could he have been the perpetrator behind these gruesome acts? Butch Cassidy lives? Embedded in the memories of cinema enthusiasts is the iconic closing scene from the 1969 film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. In this sequence, the infamous outlaws meet their demise amidst a hail of bullets in a standoff against the Bolivian army. Yet a persistent question lingers. Did Butch Cassidy truly survive this encounter? Subsequent accounts have emerged, attributing encounters with Cassidy years after his reported death. Among these narratives, a claim emerges suggesting that Butch underwent reconstructive surgery in Paris, altering his appearance. Conversely, others say that Cassidy returned to see family in Utah. However, opposing this, skeptics argue that no verifiable sightings of his return exist. Even the introduction of DNA evidence procured from a presumed burial site beneath an area known as Tom's Cabin proved insufficient to definitively confirm the remains as those of Butch Cassidy, and so the legend lives on. Bigfoot. Surprised to see Bigfoot on this list? Yet the enigma of this elusive creature isn't a contemporary wilderness phenomenon alone. The narratives of hairy ape-like beings traversing the woodlands of the American West have traversed centuries. Indigenous tribes across the Pacific Northwest have handed down stories of a supposed Sasquatch beast for centuries. Even preceding the westward migration of settlers, Bigfoot was a known entity apparently living outside of human contact. In the 1800s, frontier newspapers occasionally featured accounts of Bigfoot sightings. bold declarations emerged, asserting that the uncharted expanse of the Pacific Northwest harbored colossal wild men and wood apes. Accounts documented his supposed size, the fact that he was known to walk upright, and even a detail about how he supposedly smelled awful. An archival report from Spokane referred to it as the bad-smelling tree man. In Oregon, Bigfoot was becoming a big story by the end of the 19th century. In 1865, George Gibbs commenced recording Native American anecdotes about this enigmatic entity. While some settlers dismissed these narratives as indigenous folklore, at the turn of the 20th century, official sightings of the hairy man-beast started to come up too. With time, Bigfoot's legend has grown to become what it is today. True, it might be an intricate fabrication, but the conspiracy certainly isn't some modern-day creation. Bigfoot was known to natives and settlers alike in the days of the Old West. Terrifying consequences of the Curse of Bodhi. Today, Bodhi is a historic California national park, but it's also a ghost town, a haunting reminder of the Gold Rush era. So it tends to be a pretty tempting place for those who want to take a piece of history with them for the road. To prevent vandalism, the staff who patrol and maintain the park invented the idea of a curse that would bring bad luck upon anyone who took items from Bodhi. Intriguingly, this measure seemed to yield unexpected results. On a regular basis, the custodians receive apology letters from individuals who attribute various afflictions to their act of purloining fragments of Bodhi's past. While the veracity of these claims remains uncertain, well, we're not going to tempt fate and find out. Tom Horn shot Willy Nickel. Death is always a tragedy, even in the days of the Old West. Yet the perplexity remains. Was it indeed Tom Horn who shot 14-year-old Willy Nickel? Alternatively, did he shoulder blame for another's actions? A certainty emerges. Horn shot a lot of people, and his employment involved eradicating cattle rustlers by any means necessary. Despite witnesses attesting that Horn couldn't have executed the act, destiny decreed that the hired marksman would hang for the crime. Some historians claim that local citizens were tired of Horn hanging around and decided to frame him, orchestrating a false accusation against him. Conversely, adherents of another viewpoint propose that the gunslinger might have erroneously identified Willy Nickel was actually his adult father, since Horn usually shot his victims from hundreds of yards out. Regardless, Tom Horn was etched into Old West history, immortalized in at least 2 motion pictures and a made-for-TV movie. The legend of Billy the Kid returned from the dead. The question endures, was it indeed Sheriff Pat Garrett who brought about Billy the Kid's demise? Some say no, that Garrett actually helped the kid, born Henry McCarty, also known as William H. Bonney. This flies against the coroner's jury reports that the body they examined was indeed McCarty. But that also makes sense, what with Billy's legend being what it was. Notably, there was a man named Brushy Bill Roberts who came forward in 1948 seeking a pardon for Billy the Kid's crimes. Additionally, the Miller family pursued a DNA investigation aiming to establish a link between John Miller and McCarty, although the results proved inconclusive. Should the kid have indeed navigated survival, he sure did a great job at keeping quiet. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.